Hello and welcome to BQ Prime. A very good morning to all the viewers. Clearly, you have seen some bit of momentum in today's session as well, but that is cooling off. We are at the day's lowest levels as we speak right now, below the 19,500 levels. In terms of the advanced decline ratio, that still favors the bulls in today's session, and a lot of stock specific action that continues in trade today. Joining us on the show to discuss more in terms of what you should be doing with the movers and shakers in trade today is Sharmila Joshi. Sharmila, good morning and welcome to the show. Sharmila, let's start again with the stocks that have been on a high on the back of Chandrayaan, three successfully landing on the moon yesterday. How are you looking at names like MTAR, Avantel, Linde, a whole host of them who've contributed to the success as well? What's your view?
So first of all, as we were discussing, I wish we could just enjoy this for what it is without looking at the kind of related play. And I think, there are only two times when you don't want that to happen. One is when you're in when the nation is in a very deep tragedy, and the second is when you're on a very related high, like we were yesterday. But, on both times, we've seen it play out. When it was COVID, it was the whole pharma pack that took off and for a very good reason. And here again, I think, the reason is a good reason because, at the end of the day, we have now proven ourselves in a way. So, landing on the moon and that too on the South Pole, which no one has done earlier, is a remarkable achievement. And I think any company that has contributed to this in any way will certainly sort of bask in that glory, and they will be able to put it in their, when they sort of go for orders, etc. So, it's a clear that why these stocks are buzzing, and some of them in any case have been on the move because they have been receiving good orders and fundamentals bear it out. But I think today's up move is largely on the back of the fact that we are all basking in this glory.
Absolutely, the moon story. But moving on, another stock that has been constantly locked in lower circuit since listing is the Jio Financial Services. How are you looking at it, Sharmila? What's your view? When do you see buying emerging? Because if you see the sell orders versus the buys, it's a constant pressure on the selling side with a very few buyers on the cards. What's your view?
So I think the market knows the reasons well. Obviously, I think all the funds that track the index, they would have got Jio Financial Services because obviously they own Reliance, and then Jio Financial Services is not going to be part of the index once. I think it was very clear that it would trade for 2 days. If it did hit a circuit, then the third day it would be out of the index, or any after that it would be extended. And one day it is not on the circuit, then it will be out of the index. So clearly they have to line up their sell orders because they are funds that track the index, and this stock has no place in the index. So it's very clear why the selling is happening. It is not for fundamental reasons. So however much I may like the stock fundamentally, I also have to wait to allow this whole story to sort of play out and see at where sort of the larger players find comfort in buying the stock for the longer term, and this finally gets it moves out of the index, and it is only after it moves out of the Nifty, only then would I find comfort as a retail investor to buy into this stock. So I don't think there's anything wrong. I'm very positive on Jio Financial Services, given the kind of the parentage, the kind of management they put in place, etc. But it's just clearly we have to allow time for this thing to play out because we also need to buy at a price. We don't need to rush and buy it. This is all I'm trying to say.
Right. So that's with regards to Jio Financial Services. Moving on, SJS Enterprises has been in focus as well. You have promoter entities who have gone ahead and sold stake. From a fundamental perspective now, what would you advise investors holding SJS Enterprises to do?
See, the stock is very interesting. It's a very niche sort of an auto ancillary play. But at the same time, the promoters selling such a big quantity. And not just promoters. I think, there were some key investors also which have taken an exit. So that certainly sort of brings to mind the fact that maybe the stock price has peaked out, or there is something else happening. So I think it just gives you an indication that if you don't have the stock, you don't need to buy it now, and just wait and watch for a while, and allow this overhang to sort of settle. But in terms of numbers and the kind of business that they're doing, I don't really see it.
Right. Moving on, Vascon Engineers hit a fresh 52-week high, and this is on the back of a little over 600 crore order win that they have. They've got a contract for a medical college and hospital in Bihar. What's your view? Because strong momentum in terms of Vascon today.
And I think the size of the order and the news is very good. And so definitely, I mean, once again, don't get carried away by today's sort of reaction. But overall, this order win and the size of the company, when you take that into account, it's a really great order win for them. So yes, I think it's a stock that you should now sort of keep on your watch list.
Right. Moving on, Sharmila, Koforge did see 26% equity exchange hands. Halst BV is the seller as well, basis the term sheet that we've have access to. How are you looking at Koforge? Because in the last 2 to 3 years, almost 60-70% equity has exchanged hands on a mid-tier IT company like this. What does this actually tell you about the market as well?
Yeah, I mean, I just I look at the irony of it, the way market is treating an SJS enterprise selling, and how we are looking at Coforge, the stock is actually up. Because I think precisely like how you outlined the fact that they have been sort of consistently selling, and this is really the last bit. So market recognizes that possibly now you're sort of done with this overhang that they could come and sell. The stock has been performing well. The numbers that they've delivered, the way the management has sort of, I mean, the way they've delivered on every front, frankly. I mean, like if you, the way it transformed from what it was to where it is now, it's been an incredible run for Koforge. And I think market is recognizing that, and the fact that finally that overhang is over, because you would always wonder that when are they going to come and sell that last bit. So finally, they're like done with it, and market is happy that now they can like sort of take life on from here, which is why I think you're seeing such a different treatment for both SJS as well as Koforge.
Right. Max Financial Services, how are you looking at this counter? Again, this is one of the stocks which did see a large block deal happen as well. But overall, from a fundamental perspective, what's your view?
So, once again, just to highlight the fact that we have seen a number of managements come and sell stake in the market, and this sort of underlines something that we've been saying for the longest time, which everyone in the market has been saying for the longest time, that, the kind of flows that this market rally is no longer a purely FI-based liquidity sort of a rally, but this is really more domestic money, and we are seeing a lot of promoters sort of cashing out and taking money off the table, and that is also being absorbed by domestic investors or HNIs or what have you. So I think it's been a very interesting, like if you were really to take the data from the last 5-6 months, you would be astounded as to how much selling has happened. So, I think that that I don't think is a concern for Max Financial. From a valuation perspective, I find it a little expensive, but it's a good stock.
Right, so that's with regards to Max Financial Services. Moving on, Torrent Pharmaceutical also has been in focus, and yesterday we were talking about Torrent Pharma being in the race to acquire Cipla's promoters' stake, and post that, a lot of other developments coming in as well. What's your view with regards to Torrent Pharma?
So I think this news would obviously, I think, be taken positively, because Cipla has sort of been doing well, and they've delivered good numbers, and the good numbers have come on the back of good data. So that said, I think let's wait and see how that plays out. So Torrent Pharma by itself, on its like the standalone, I mean, just to view Torrent Pharma without this piece of news, again, I think it's a good stock and at very decent valuation.
So that's with regards to Torrent Pharma. Moving on, Procter and Gamble Health. They reported their fourth quarter numbers. Now, clearly, there has been pressure in terms of profitability as well as margins. How are you looking at PNG Health?
Yeah, I think a little disappointing, as you said, and I think that the most disappointing bit probably for me was the margin bit. So, again, I don't really think that you need to be too worried, but at the same time, not a great number. So, not a stock that I would be recommending at this point.
Right. Manappuram Finance, another one which has been in focus as well. Sharmila, what's your view on a Manappuram Finance?
Oh, again, this is a very interesting space. We spoke of Jio Financial Services a little earlier. I'm not comparing it with Manappuram Finance. But all I'm trying to say is that this entire NBFC space, uh, it has been buzzing, and you have a whole host and variety of models that are operating within that space, and a lot of them are sort of delivering good numbers and doing well. So on the one hand, you may have stocks like a Manappuram. Then you have stocks which are doing more of mortgage lending. You have stocks which are so there are so many plays. Then you have like something like a Shriram Transport Finance, which again has been doing well because they do funding for CVs and two wheelers. There's Mahindra and Mahindra Financial, there's L&T Finance. So what I'm trying to say is that it's a space that is this sort of sector trend is a thing. And then when that sector is doing well, whether it is a pharma or whether it is a NBFC, you find almost every individual bid providing that there is nothing really going wrong with that story doing well. So I think Manappuram sort of fits that bracket for me, and so it's not my most preferred play within that space. But yes, I think given the fact that you are seeing sort of momentum in that entire sector, this stock will also sort of get.
Right. From the banking space as well, Sharmila, what's your view if you have to look at a Bandhan Bank as well as a RBL? In fact, RBL has had a block deal as well today. How are you looking at both these names and where would your preference be?
So, again, to tie into what I was saying earlier, Bandhan Bank is also start. I think they mentioned that they are going to get into sort of lending, some lending verticals. So, which is like more on the sort of NBFC sort of variety. So, that just brings home the point that while they are expanding their branching network and things are looking okay for them from that perspective as well. But they are also looking at this sort of NBFC and that kind of space to expand their operations. So what is happening with banking and NBFCs is very interesting, and I think probably within the two, maybe my focus would be more on banking. But again, I think both are important sectors going forward.
Right. So these are few stocks we should be watching out for as well. Thank you, Sharmila, so much for joining us on the show and giving us your views. But clearly, the markets are at the day's lowest levels, but clearly the stocks are seeing a good momentum in today's day of trade. That's all that we have on the session. Thanks for watching, and lots more lined up on the other side. Please stay tuned to BK Prime.